Now at 6, some good news surrounding the Providence strike. Some medical workers have voted to approve a new contract, but the strike still looms for many nurses.
Also, check out this video from the Oregon coast. It shows an elk with rope from what looks like a buoy wrapped around its neck and its antlers, why officials haven't done anything yet to remove that rope.
And local favorite Bob's Red Mill is downsizing. We asked them why they're shutting down its whole grain store and cafe in Milwaukee.
Eagles fly in Super Bowl 59.
You heard the man. Eagles fly, China Green. Eagles fly to a Super Bowl victory. We're going to have a recap of the game and also a look back at the Super Bowl halftime show with Kendrick Lamar and quite a few surprise guests. All that coming up here in the 6 o'clock hour of Sunrise.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Monday here. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Especially good morning if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Chris McGinnis is one of those. He's filling in for Rod Hill. Ashley with traffic in just a moment. But Chris, let's start with today's chilly temperatures.
Yeah, I said chilly is an understatement. It is cold out there, and it's going to be colder over the next couple of nights. So that is headline number one for our back to work, back to school forecast. We're 31 degrees last check in downtown. We're 31 in Beaverton. Vancouver has slipped to 30. Battleground, the cold spot on this map at 24, and Kaiser right now sits at 27. Obviously, anything that was wet last night could be slick this morning. There's a little patchy fog out there as well. The story for today is generally cold sunshine, with temperatures only getting into the lower 40s for highs this afternoon, and then colder nights ahead this week. I've got most of the region getting into the mid-20s or colder. A gusty gorge wind developing, and we are still watching for the potential of some wintry weather on Thursday. I'm going to talk more about this coming up in just a few minutes. First, a look at the roads with Ashley.
Yeah, we're looking forward to some of that sunshine, not seeing it yet. Here's a live look from our photographer, Eric Patterson, driving northbound on 205 up in Clark County. You can see some of that patchy fog that Chris was just talking about. So give yourself a little extra time as you head out this morning, especially with those colder temperatures. Here's a look at those southbound lanes on the Fremont Bridge this morning, free and clear for those of you crossing through the metro area. And a similar story for those of you on I-5 down south in Wilsonville. Now, a reminder for those of you who might be heading up to the mountain, we are still seeing a suggestion that you bring chains with you as well as those traction tires. Here's a look at 26, not far from Welch's. You'll see that chain up area right there, but no snow on the roadways. Drew, China.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Top news headline here at 6 o'clock comes from Southeast Portland, where police are investigating a deadly motorcycle crash that happened around 7:30 last night near Southeast Umatilla and McLaughlin Boulevard. Details are still limited, but police say the man riding the motorcycle died and that there were no other vehicles involved. We have an email address up on the screen there that anyone with information can use to contact police. It's crimetips@police.portlandoregon.gov.
Nurses are still on strike today at 8 hospitals in Oregon after voting no on the latest contract offer from Providence.
That means thousands of replacement nurses are still on the job, but a new bill could soon force healthcare providers like Providence to show just how much they're paying those replacement workers. Thomas Schultz is covering the latest for us here live outside Providence St. Vincent Hospital. So Thomas, let's talk about the new wrinkle here involving this bill.
Yeah, well, Drew and China, it's interesting, and maybe the most interesting component is the timing of this bill. It's going to be presented today, and it comes as nurses at Providence St. Vincent and others across the Providence Hospital unit are asking for several things like higher pay while on strike. Now, today, that bill will be presented in the House Committee of Labor and Workplace Standards, and it would make hospitals report the amount of money they've spent on recruiting, soliciting, and advertising for replacement employees. Every 30 days, the hospital would have to update the report, then provide a final report for the amount of money spent within 30 days after a strike is over. This comes as nurses at 8 Providence hospitals continue a month-long strike. On Saturday evening, those nurses voted overwhelmingly by 83% to reject a tentative agreement with Providence.
We hope that we're the start of a movement where we're wresting control from kind of money-minded interest in the practice and delivery of medicine. And these bills are a way to kind of help the public know what's out there.
Now, amid ongoing negotiations, Providence says they will examine next steps with both bargaining units and federal mediators. Though at the same time, Providence tells us that they stand by their offer, which includes a 20% wage hike for these nurses over the next 3 years. Coming up at 6:30, we'll delve more into exactly what these nurses are asking for and what they have problems with in that Providence recent contract. Guys?
Oh, Thomas Schultz reporting live for us. Thank you, Thomas. Meanwhile, more than 2,000 nurses at 3 other Portland hospitals voted to join the Oregon Nurses Association labor union. So those hospitals are Legacy Emmanuel, Randall Children's, and Good Samaritan. Nurses there will now create bargaining teams and start negotiating their first union contracts as part of ONA.
The last couple nights with the vote counts, the pulse in the room was just electric. It was so exciting watching all of those yeses roll in for that near unanimous vote.
This is going to lead to nurses who have more and better resources to take care of their patients. The community is going to feel.
A spokesperson from Legacy Health sent us the following statement, reading in part, quote, "Legacy Health respects the rights of our employees to choose whether or not to be represented by a union." On the latest episode of Straight Talk, Stephanie Domerat sits down with labor experts to talk about the increase of strikes nationwide over the last 2 decades. Everything from historical trends to how the new Trump administration influences collective actions. Straight Talk airs tonight at 7 on KGW or anytime on our streaming app KGW+.
In Clark County, officials are warning people about spikes that are showing up on streets in Yakult. This photo shows what they look like. The town says it received 3 reports about them last week on East Hubbard, Worthington, and on East Jones. So you can see the spikes have swastikas drawn on them, along with the word Kent. That's a potential reference to Republican politician Joe Kent, who lives in Yakult. Anyone who finds one of these spikes is asked to carefully pick it up and then turn it in to City Hall.
In Deschutes County, deputies arrested a man wanted for assault after investigators say the suspect ran from authorities for about 3 miles in the snow while barefoot. A local resident spotted the suspect after a safety alert went out and turned him into the county SWAT team. After 2 years of waiting, a new and improved North Portland Library is open to visitors. The $13 million renovation and expansion at Carnegie Building along North Killingsworth is complete. Now, one of the most unique additions to the historic building is the new Black Cultural Center. It's decorated with art created by Black artists and kid-friendly interactive displays.
The color for the walls, the type of lighting that was needing. Oh my God, the volumes of the Black authors, the beautiful carvings.
It's so amazing to see so many members of the community and the staff who have been a part of this project to help make it come to fruition.
The funding for the project came from a 2020 capital bond. The Albina Library also expanding, is expected to open as soon as this summer.
Yep. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions after a dominating win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Fly, Eagles, fly. Oh. This right here, the play of the game. Let's watch it, shall we? Cooper DeJean running in the touchdown there, intercepting Patrick Mahomes. Big win for the Eagles. After beating the Patriots 7 years ago for their first Super Bowl title, this was Super Bowl victory number 2 for the team, knocking off Patrick Mahomes and those Chiefs. You saw that big touchdown pass right there by Jalen Hurts. He was named MVP.
Say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to Cell Block 1. To any that talk to me in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from them.
Man, I was really dancing last night at halftime, Shauna. The Eagles were winning big.
Oof.
Kendrick Lamar on the TV. He put on a huge show last night, Lamar did. A big splash, you might say, during halftime, performing some of his biggest hits, including, of course, Humble, Luther, and the now 5-time Grammy-winning song, Not Like Us. Now, is that the one that goes,
Yes, that would be the one.
Not like us, Chris?
Nope.
Not like us, Chris. Eagles again, the big winners. Cooper DeJean with the interception. Kendrick Lamar with the big halftime show.
Zach Bond with another big interception.
Yeah, good night for
Can
Eagles
you tell
fans.
we were Eagles fans?
And good night for Lamar fans. What do you got for us in the forecast?
I've got a cold forecast, and that is really the headline over the next couple of days. So let's get to that first off. It's 31 degrees last check at PDX. Obviously a frosty cold start to the morning. It's 26 in Beaverton. 27 last check in Scappoose. In the big perspective, you want cold? How about single digits right now in Baker City and Burns? Baker City has warmed up from 0 to 6 degrees in the last hour. But the point is that there is a substantial reservoir for cold air across the Canadian Rockies and the northern U.S. Rockies. And that's going to set the stage for frosty cold temps the next couple of nights And of course, we are watching for that potential of wintry weather later in the work week. I'm going to show you that with the 7-day in just a second. Despite the cold, we should see a decent amount of sunshine today. Snow flurries in the Cascades, snow showers out in the East Columbia Basin. Outside of that, a quiet forecast today, and then a clear sky tonight will really let things get quite chilly here as we get into the overnight hours. Not only that, but the east breeze is going to start to ratchet up through the Columbia River Gorge, and that's what Futurecast is showing us here. Wind gusts late this afternoon on the order 20 to 30. They will get gustier overnight tonight through the gorge. So we're kind of opening the freezer door, so to speak, to that cold air over on the east side. That'll come filtering westward, and that means that tomorrow morning will be even colder for the Willamette Valley and the I-5 corridor. We get up to about 42 degrees today. Futurecast likes Longview at 41, Salem 42, and despite the frigid start, Baker City gets up into the 20s this afternoon. And then Futurecast shows temperatures getting down into the teens in the Hood River Valley, mid-20s in the Willamette Valley for areas that feel the east breeze. If you're not impacted by the east breeze, temperatures could be even colder, and then only getting to 37 for high tomorrow. So temperatures running a good 10 to 12 degrees below average for this time of the year, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then, of course, Thursday. I'm going to take a closer look at this coming up in just a few minutes, guys. But the Thursday system is still one that bears watching. The details are certainly not clear yet, but that is a day of high interest. And I'll walk you through that with Futurecast coming up in just a few minutes.